Hello, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're hearing me from. Today, I wanted us to talk about your business and what you're going to do to be able to run that business efficiently, effectively, without you being there. A lot of times, when we operate a business, we want to separate ourselves from that business. You don't want to stay there all the time. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get anything done, and nothing is going to happen in the workplace. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you have put systems in place, because these are key components of ensuring that that business is working even when you're not there. So how do you do that? You want to have procedures, you want to have templates, and then you want to have policies in place so that anybody you employ knows that there's some working document they have to work with. Now, you're very excited, you just started your business and you're thinking, oh my goodness, what do I do about templates and all that? It's very easy. You want to have to sit down, give it time, and find out how you can make sure that everything that you want to do in your workplace, you have it as a document. So you have like a company procedure document whereby the staff that you employ, be it a receptionist, be it a driver, be it a marketing officer, whoever the person is, even the general manager, they know exactly what they need to do per time and at any time, and whatever they need to do to be able to get things done in the workplace. So let me give you an example. So in my workplace, I run a business where I do a screen printing, embroidery, and apparel manufacturing business. So what we normally would do is when someone comes to place the work order, in our company procedure, there is a place where we show you how you work the order. So there are two steps. First of all, we give someone a performer invoice. We show you how to write the performer invoice, and then when the performer invoice have been approved, they need to pay some money. You need to issue a document to say they have paid the money. You take that performer invoice and issue a work order. That work order, 3 copies. 1 copy is going to the production, and 1 copy is going to the person who is the manager. 1 copy is going to the supervisor. With that 1 copy of work order, whoever's duty it is to open the machine, that's what they use is their key to opening that machine. Now, how do you open the machine? We have all that prescribed in the procedure document. And that's, so whoever is coming to work knows that once you get your work order, you are going to have to know how you would turn on the machine, what you need to do, if you need to run a sample, how you need to present your sample, then if you need to run the job, how many you need to do. That's the person who's operating the machine's job procedure. For the supervisor's procedure is to take that work order copy that has been given so that they'll be able to know how they would calculate the profit, how they will calculate in their book, what the materials that they need, and it's that paper that they're going to use now to get a requisition to be able to get the things that they need for that work production that they will give to the person who is operating the machine. Now, the manager's procedure document is for them to know that once you get that work order, these are the works that have come in for that company for the week or for the day, and they need to calculate how much is the monies that have come into the company, what needs to be spent, what needs to be kept, what needs to be restocked, and what needs to be considered as profit. So all along that chain, everybody knows what they're doing because it has already been documented. So for instance, the person who is going to take that document for delivery, those goods for delivery, the person also knows that once you go and pick up those goods for delivery, you're going to have to write a delivery order, and then you're also going to note how you're going to package those things, you're going to label them, you're going to take them before you give that to the driver for delivery or for pickup. All these are written out in a document. Why do you have to do this? Because when you are not in the office, it's very easy for people to forget what they need to do, especially staff. So all these things are documented in terms of procedure, so it's easy for them to be able to know what they are producing, what they are delivering, and what order they are collecting, and how much money they need to collect back. So everybody along that chain knows what is expected of them. you have to do this. And if you're going to do this, depending on how many staffs you have to be able to write your procedure document as minute as writing a receipt, as emailing, as what do you need to do if somebody comes into the office and they're making an inquiry. You need to write that down. If somebody comes into the office and is making an inquiry, who do they need to talk to? If they talk to the person, how do the person answer them? And after the person has even made the inquiry, who is going to do the follow-up? That is going to be taken to marketing. All that needed to be done. So somebody comes to the office and asks a question. Oh, do you produce this? Or is there something that there's something that I want you to do? And you say, oh, no, we don't do it. And then the person goes, you've just lost a contact that you could have used tomorrow. So what do? You call the person comes in, whoever is in the office who's been delegated to answer those people or that kind of person. Once the person comes in, what they ought to do is, hello, sir, what's your name? You tell them your name. How may I help you? You tell them, they will tell you how they want help. You have a paper and a document, and then you make those inquiries down, whatever inquiry the people are making, and then you say, okay, this is it, this is it, this is it. If it is something you do, you tell them the department where they need to get those things done, or that person who is going to help them. If it's something you handle it immediately, and then you make sure that you serve that person properly. And before the person leaves, you collect their telephone number. Why? Because that's someone you can go back to tomorrow. That's a client, that's a prospect that you can also prospect tomorrow in case you don't even give them what they need at that time. So it's important that you put together your procedures. It's important you put together templates, and everything that you write as a procedure becomes a template. And everything that you write down as a template becomes a document that you keep in the office for whoever is coming to work there. And those are also the documents that you're also going to need for your training. Because how do you train your staff who come to work? You need to show them your templates, you need to show them your procedures, you need to show them your documentation for them to be able to understand how they can run the company. Another thing I need you to remember in trying to work on your procedures and documentation is you have to also have a staff profiling as part of your company policy. What is the kind of staff you want to employ? As minute as, do you want them tall at a certain age? Do you want them slim? Do you want them big? Do you want them within an age bracket? Do you want them fair? Do you want them black? You need to be able to do that profiling, and that will become your company policy. You also go to the extent of saying, once your company does this, these are the things that you want to do in terms of your planning. Whatever you're dealing with in terms of your company planning, always remember that in that plan, you have to make that as your company document so that it's easy for you to keep that document for whoever you're training. So somebody's going to say, so how do I do a company policy? How do I get my company profiling? How do I do all that? You can start with yourself. If you're somebody who has just started a company, you don't want to add so much money with it, you can begin with yourself. You can start, you have 360 days in a year, sorry. So what do? You can use 30 days and just start writing every day. Just take one department, write what you want to see, write the kind of experience you want your customers to get, write the kind of things that you expect that when people come into your organization, they will do. That's one way. Another way is you can actually get a PA or someone who is part of your staffing to just go around your office and see the kind of things that you're doing every day in your office and make notes. What's happening in this department, what's happening in this department, they can make those notes. And with those notes, you can sit down and make a company policy, a company template, or company procedure. Or you can hire an expert. And if you're looking for an expert, I'm here. I'm a business consultant. So you can hire an expert who will sit down, look at the proceedings, look at the things that are happening and the rudiments that go on in your office. And then they will also be able to help you work with a business plan. With your business plan and with the company experience and with the client experience that you want in your office to be able to develop, I'll be able to develop a company profile, a company policy, a company procedure, and a template. Those templates are what are going to help you to do business properly, such that even when you're not in the office, it doesn't matter where you are, in any part of the world you are, your office can go on with or without you in the office. That is the mistakes that a lot of us make. A lot of us do business and we think, oh, if we're not in the office in one day, that office is going to shut down. No. If you're running business that way, then there's a big problem. You need to run business in a manner and way that whether you're there or you're not there, the business goes on and it runs properly. The business is running efficiently because you have company policies, you have templates, and you have procedures that the people will need to follow. And by the way, it's a standard all across the world. When you hear about ISO 9000, or when you hear about ISO 9001, those are procedures. It's because you know what you are doing. You have set out plans on how this needs to be done. You have set out system where everybody that comes to work in that office understand what needs to be done, and so it's easy to follow. This is a world global standard, and this is a standard that every business should yearn to become and be. You cannot run business like you run in your bedroom, where they need a pin, it's in your house. They need scissors, it's in your house. They need some papers, you keep them in your house. No, you have to have a shelf, you have to have record keeping, you have to have proper documentation and proper ways of doing things such that you can showcase that you have a business. And it doesn't matter the size of your business, whether your business is big or your business is small, you ought to be able to do business in a manner and way that anybody that comes into that business and leaves can see that you are giving everyone what they desire, whether your clientele, whether your staff, or even yourself. And hey, this will give you a lot of peace of mind. The only worry you're going to do is putting those templates and putting those procedures as you start off, beginning to write all that down. Once you do that, you're on auto cruise. And whether you're there or you're not there, you just tell them, refer to the book, refer to the manual. It's like a manual for how things ought to be done. You know how when you buy a product, there's a manual in it? That's how you need to run the business. There should be a manual for everything. As little as turn on the tap, as little as take out the thing from the store, as little as pull out the car. And a lot of us have company cars and we don't keep mileage. No, you also have to do that. So your company driver knows that if they're going out with a car, this is the system of taking out the car. You take out the key from the drawer, you write your paper, you write your document, you have a vehicle logbook where the documentation is entered and everybody knows what they ought to do. And that way, you will not have a problem. I hope you have taken out time to work on your company policy, and you've taken out time also to work on your procedure, and you're taking out time to work on your templates. Let me know how I can be of help. And hey, click that like button, click the subscribe button if you want to know more about this pro. You want to know more about how to do and work on your company policies and your company procedure. I'm Dr. Gnana Dingi, your mentor, who always would say, manifest. Take care. Bye-bye.